All right, Capricorn, let's go ahead and see what is going on for you in November of 2025. Show me Capricorn for November of 2025, please. Energy, the world, Saturn, your ruling planet. So that's a good sign. Accomplishing something for certain. The Five of Swords reversed is your challenge. Recent past, the High Priestess, pretty powerful so far. The near future, Ace of Pentacles. Damn, I'm not mad at you. What's going on in your mind for November? The Two of Swords. You don't know what's what. Five of Cups reversed for what's going on in your subconscious. Wow, this is a really, you guys have certainly made some progress, or I see you guys making some progress. The Hierophant for your advice. Beautiful. The Seven of Pentacles for somebody that you can be dealing with. Hopes and or fears. Seven of Cups reversed. The Nine of Pentacles reversed for the outcome. So it's really interesting because all of this looks super powerful. And then we get to the Nine of Pentacles reversed and it's like, wah, wah. The King of Wands is the theme for your reading. So it's simply asking you to be more entrepreneurial, be more confident, easier said than done, right? To be able to assert yourself, express yourself in ways that are authentic to you. The world shows me that you are accomplishing something, so that's positive. And I'm saying, like, this is something you've been working on for a long time. The world is not just some kind of run of the mill, oh yay, it's done, you know. It's, I wrote my letter, now I send it off to the, no, this is like, you know, like a book we finish writing or something like that. Okay, so it's something that you started a long time ago. The High Priestess shows me that you were reaching some level of your own potential in the past in October. The Five of Swords reversed for your challenge. We're going to have to clarify that because that can have a couple of different meanings. The Two of Swords, you guys may be avoiding something. I'm kind of wondering if it's about starting again, just because the world is like, oh my God, I'm finally finished. Like I need time to rest and recuperate. Totally fine. If you need to do that, good. But the Ace of Pentacles is here in the near future. So the opportunity is being created. Either you're creating it or somebody else is creating it to you, creating it for you, or being given to you in some way. So the new start is coming whether you like it or not. Okay. I think you're going to like it because it's the Ace of Pentacles. The Hierophant can be about relationships, and this is your advice. So it may be asking you to make sure that when you build these relationships with other people, that they align with who you actually are. Okay. So like, I know for me, I am probably not going to date somebody who is constantly going to church, you know, 3 days a week. Nothing wrong with that. Just not my thing, right? I have my own spiritual things that I do, right? I just know that I could not like live like that, right? To each their own, totally not against that, right? But it's saying like, what are your things? Like what make you who you are? It doesn't mean that we can't open up our mind, right? But anyway, so Seven of Pentacles shows me that somebody may be very invested in this connection or in some kind of business deal. Careful with that Nine of Pentacles reverse. We're going to see what that is here in a minute. Wow. Talk about a higher purpose. Capricorn, this is great news. You're completing something, and it's something that is a huge success. You planted the seed, you saw your way through, and now it's finished. And it's leading to something bigger. It's leading you to your higher purpose. So for instance, let's say that you finally finished that book that you were writing, and you're realizing that this is part of who you are meant to be. And it's going to call something in for you. You're answering the call, whatever this thing is. Give me one more on that. Tell me what that Judgment is. The Eight of Cups reverse. It looks like you complete something, but then it comes back up for review. It doesn't feel like you're second guessing something. It feels like you're finishing something and then it's being brought back. So like, you may have completed something. Okay, maybe you completed in October. Maybe you're getting ready to, whatever it is. But then it's like, okay, so for instance, let's say that you write a song, you release it, and you released it in October, or you release it at the beginning of this month. And then like you put it on TikTok. This is a terrible example. I'm so sorry. You release it on TikTok and like nothing really happens. And then like a few weeks later, all of a sudden it blows up and you're like, whoa, and you kind of got to like circle back and like revisit it. People are asking you about it or whatever. People are using your sound or whatever. I'm not saying that's what it is. Okay. It could be about a relationship as well. So for a relationship, you kind of like shake hands with somebody. Okay. Sayonara, you know, thanks. But it feels like it's not done. Okay. So it seems like you are walking back towards something that you may have parted ways with. Your challenge is the Five of Swords reversed and the Nine of Swords reversed. I really want you to be cautious of getting too much in your head to the point where you don't accomplish anything at all. Okay. I want to get one more. Six of Swords. This is a lot of mental energy. I really think you have to stop worrying about something. What are we worried about here? The Four of Swords reversed. You're not healed from something. There's a lot of sword energy. This to me is definitely a lot about your mental health and the things that you're carrying inside your mind that may not even necessarily be yours to carry. Because to me, what this feels like is you're in this energy of like, oh, no matter what I do, I'm never gonna win. I'm never gonna, you know, I suck. I'm a loser, you know, or like something, right? You're internalizing some kind of anxiety. You may even be creating scenarios in your mind about the future that don't even exist, like that haven't even happened, and that you don't even know if they're going to happen. And it's trying to say like, hey, chill out, take some ashwagandha. Okay. I'm not telling you to take supplements. Okay. Like obviously talk to your doctor, right? I take ashwagandha, but try to take the chill pill. There's something that you need to resolve within you. Because that's why you're projecting what it is that you're projecting onto the future. It's like, if you're already writing your freaking future before you get a chance to live it, I don't really know, you know, especially in a negative light, if that's necessarily fair. So, to you, the High Priestess, I love this. This is beautiful. In your past, what did you do? You definitely listened to your gut instincts about something that was toxic, something that was just not working out. Maybe it was a relationship. Maybe it was an addiction. Maybe that's what you closed out on. Maybe that's what you were done with. Maybe you decided to talk to a therapist about your, you know, fucking issues or whatever. Okay. Maybe it was about another person. But because you listened to your gut, I think, in my opinion, that it saved you from a lot more anxiousness, or it saved you from things getting worse. For others of you, there could have been a roadblock. So it could have been some kind of fear. Okay. And finally, you were like, you know what? I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to work on this thing behind the scenes. I'm just going to push through it. Who the hell's going to stop me except for myself? Right. And it seems like you guys did push through something. So this is about confidence, in my opinion, a lot about confidence. Because people who are like, honestly, okay, I'm going to be honest. I'm not calling you a bad person. Just hear me out. There's a person that I know. He is like the worst person I have ever met in my life. He is truly terrible. Okay. I mean, he's really bad. And he is also delusional. It's delusional until it actually works out, right? Because this guy gets away with everything. Like this dude, I've known him for so long. I don't associate with him only when I have to. But everything works out for him because he truly just believes that it will. You know? Why did I mention that? Now I can't remember why I brought that up. Okay, well, for some of you, you need to do it to adopt that mind frame, not the terribleness, but the delusion. I don't know what made me say that. Two of Swords and the Five of Pentacles. Ooh, okay. You're avoiding something because you're afraid of loss. What are we undecided about or avoiding? The Five of Wands. There's something in your mind that it may have been an ending. I just see two fives here, which can equate to a 10. So there may be some kind of ending that maybe you're avoiding, or some kind of ending that already happened. And it's like maybe there's still some kind of closure that's needed, or there's a discussion that's needed, or something like that. But I think that you're afraid. You're either afraid of rejection, or you can be afraid of some kind of like drama that ensues. This also could be something like where your ego, because the Five of Wands, and then I'm looking at the King of Wands, that's double Leo. There can be something that's tied to like your ego here. What is that? The Justice. you keep fighting with yourself over like either A, doing the right thing or making something right, or doing what you know you need to do that's right for you. So for instance, right, this could be about a relationship, it could be about anything, but I'm just going to come up with a random ass example, okay? Let's say that you read a lot and you meditate and you take care of your house and you have good hygiene and all these things, but you know that you need to get up and move your body and go to the gym, right? Let's say it's that. I love the gym. That's why I'm using that example. Let's say that that's what you need to do, but you're like, oh God, I don't really want to be looked at, or like, what are people going to think of me? Or, I don't want people to see me like doing squats or something like that, right? Whatever it may be. But it's like, no, you need to do that for balance. Like you can't just like stay in the house all day and like meditate and, wash your armpits. Like you got to do other stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Anyway, that's a terrible example. But it's like, don't let your ego get in the way of balance, or maybe even possibly potentially getting in the way of like doing the right thing or making something right with another person. Like right now, I'm avoiding one of my friends because I did something wrong and I admitted that I did something wrong, but he really wants to talk to me. And I'm like, oh God, I'm totally avoiding it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, I just, it's a lot about my ego. It's a lot about shame. You know what I'm saying? And so I feel like there's something maybe around that. Anyway, he's an Aquarius rising. What does that have to do with you? Sorry, I just got done doing the Aquarius reading. So I'm like thinking we're still on the Aquarius reading. Anyway, moving on. So now we have the High Priestess again. We saw the High Priestess back here. Okay. Listening to your intuition, following your highest potential, finding your highest potential because you listen to your intuition, because of that sacred knowledge that we all have within us. And I think that you really removed a roadblock in your life. Now, because of that, you're reaching even a higher potential. You notice how the high priestess, she does not actually have a roof over her head. And that is because it is symbolic for unlimited potential, or the sky is the limit kind of thing. Because of that, you were creating some kind of opportunity for yourself. For some of you, this may be something involving education, the occult. It can even be something sexy, very spiritual, but it's also something tangible. So now we have the Ace of Pentacles, which is about like tangible things, okay? Anything you can touch, taste, feel, smell, whatever, right? Make money from, blah, blah, blah. Then we have the High Priestess, which is more spiritual or maybe a little sexual. It's very feminine, divine feminine, the unseen. And so now we have these two meeting. So something, and it's making me think of that Saturn Neptune conjunction that we had back in August, but now it's going to be exact in January. No, February. I think it's on Valentine's Day. Interesting, by the way, which is next year in 2026. So yeah. So this may be a time where something that you dreamed up that you thought was impossible, you're actually finding that you can ground it in reality and make it happen. That's what I think that is. So then we have the Five of Cups reverse and the Six of Wands for what's going on in your subconscious. Hmm. Hmm. Don't let fear hold you back from getting the level of success that you want. Especially because like it seems like you have either forgiven someone or maybe you want forgiveness. There's something from the past that you had a lot of regrets around that I see you kind of like letting go of, or you're kind of figuring out what to do with it. Essentially, what you're going to do with that, those feelings, that energy, and it may be that you are going to try to find a way to capitalize off of it or have some level of success. And what I mean by that, like let's say that you are a poet, right? And then you're like, maybe you're an emo poet and you went through some things and now you end up writing a poetry book, or you really want to write some kind of poetry book. But there may be some fears around that or something like that. And so it's asking you to kind of learn how to release those fears, because a lot of it could really just be tied to ego, as well. Okay. But I think that you guys, there may be some like pride, not bad pride. It doesn't feel like bad pride. It feels like there's a level of pride in regards to how you're handling a situation. Like you're proud of how you're handling something. I also think there's a part of you that wants to be seen for how you're handling something. I'm not sure what that means, but that's what I got. Like there's something where you're feeling this. energy of wanting to be be known for how you handle something. Like if you and somebody have some kind of fight, you don't want to make them hate you more. You want them to still see you in a good light with how you walked away from a situation. Does that make sense? I think a lot more people recognize you and your efforts than you realize. But some of you may be afraid of like being seen. And I mean like truly seen. Okay. Because if that King of Wands is your theme, the King of Wands gets seen, baby, without even trying, you know? And for some of you, this is kind of what this is about instead of like hiding in the shadows. Because I'm like, well, the Six of Wands is in their subconscious, but the advice for that is the moon. It's like, don't let yourself hide away, let yourself be seen. Hmm. The Hierophant with the Knight of Swords. So, you know, there may be something that you're needing to learn for some of you. There may be an opportunity to learn. Keep in mind, the High Priestess can also represent sacred knowledge. That was in your past and in your future. So there can be something around sacred knowledge, something that you're learning. The Hierophant is also about learning. It's more traditional, though. Okay. But the Knight of Swords is here, which basically is telling me that you're needing, because this is advice, you're needing to take action or keep an open mind, maybe when it comes to other people's perspectives or viewpoints, religious or spiritual beliefs. Maybe you're needing to keep an open mind when it comes to the relationships that you acquire. You know, I always say, like, I like to listen to people that I don't agree with. And the reason being is because I like to challenge my own state of thinking. I like to ask myself, like, do I really stand on that? Do I really believe that? You know, instead of just living in my own fucking echo chamber, right? I try to open up. It doesn't mean I'm going to agree with everything that people I disagree with say, obviously, but the exercise is to challenge my own thinking. So that's what I'm going to be asking you to do. Then we have the Seven of Pentacles with the Six of Cups. Somebody's thinking about you like all the time. They're still invested. They're willing to put in the energy and the effort towards this connection. I think they're getting a little impatient because they want something more from it, maybe. Okay. But this is somebody who has a gift for you. And I think that they feel like you are also a gift in turn. What does this person want with Capricorn? The Lovers. Well, you have somebody who is ridiculously interested in you. But it's almost like this energy of they're wondering if they should stay or go. They think about you all the time. The Seven of Cups reversed for your hopes and or fears. Eight of Wands reversed. You know, I think that you want to be very realistic in regards to the things that you want. But now I'm thinking about what I just told you about that person that's a little delusional, you know? And sometimes you need that. You need a little bit of fantasy to be able, like, you know, you think about writers like J.R.R. Tolkien or, you know, George R. R. Martin, who created A Song of Ice and Fire, aka Game of Thrones, total like world building. Can you imagine if they were too realistic about everything? You know, it's like, okay, well, then there would be no fantasy novels. You know what I'm saying? If everything had to be so real, there'd be no Harry Potter, J.K. Rowling. Hello. You know what I'm saying? And so sometimes being too realistic can actually be what stops you from getting what you want. So dream a little, baby. You know, and now I'm thinking of that Saturn conjunct Neptune again. It's like where we have the ability or the opportunity to make our dreams a reality. And then we have the Nine of Pentacles reversed with the Ace of Cups. Why is that Nine of Pentacles reversed? The Chariot reversed. So, you know, the Nine of Pentacles reversed is kind of that, it reminds me of that saying, don't go broke trying to look rich. You know what I'm saying? So there can be that energy that you have of where you feel like you need to prove something. That's actually hindering you. It's not helping you. It's asking you to maybe get into a more dreamy Ace of Cups, a more dreamy, fantasy ridden kind of energy to be able to get what it is that you want and to be able to be confident in that regardless, you know? Okay, for some of you, I'm getting something about you guys are too afraid to get close to people. And now we have a new romantic cycle begins. You guys are too afraid to get close to people because you don't want to truly be seen. Okay. And then we have Mars. How interesting. So new moon in Libra, a new romantic cycle begins, and then Mars, and then open doors. you have many options. So take your time to choose what's right. Okay. Well, I see that Seven of Cups reverse there. Maybe you're afraid of choosing the wrong person. Maybe you're afraid of choosing, just making the wrong choice in general. You're going to make wrong choices. Okay. You're going to fail at some point. But that doesn't mean that you stop doing what it is that you, I don't want to say what you want, but what you're striving for. Don't stop that. Mars is about striving and moving forward. And Mars is going to be in Sagittarius this month, a very strong place for Mars to be. And he's making a couple of nice aspects. He's making that Mars opposition to Uranus, where we can learn some information. Maybe that is going to shock us or surprise us a little bit. But I feel like for some of you, there's going to be some kind of new romantic cycle, some new relationship that comes in. Or if it's a existing relationship, there could be a brand new ta-da, renovation of that relationship. And Mars, well, guess what? Mars is exalted in your sign, Capricorn. I have Mars in Capricorn. And so it can be saying, like, take action towards the thing that you want. If it is love, you have options available to you. Look around. You know what I'm saying? Just remember what you learned in the past and apply that now. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you will like, share, comment, and subscribe. If you guys want to book a personal reading with me, you can do so on my website at www.violettaalexis.com. If you would like to book a scheduled session with me or text and or call spontaneously, you can do so at hipsy.com/Violetta Alexis. All of that information can be found in the description box below or in the pinned comment in the chat. Thanks a lot, you guys, and I'll talk to you soon. Have a great mid-October.